Hello there, meandidraws here, and I'm back with another sketchbook tour. It's actually part 4. If you haven't watched other videos in this playlist, please do, because this is the part 4. You need to watch part 1, part 2, and part 3. So this today is all about this particular sketchbook, and I actually got really motivated by, maybe it's the fact that I started uploading videos about sketchbooks, but I got motivated to do another one. I really wanted to draw traditionally, and yeah, it was actually super fun. So yeah, I got motivated to draw in the sketchbook again, partly because of your amazing feedback in previous videos, and partly because I got myself into some sort of a drawing block, art block, and sketchbook really helped me to get out of it. And I'm not gonna lie, this made me fall in love with drawing again, partly because just drawing traditional is more fun to me, it's more authentic, and most importantly, it's more cozy schmozy. Yeah. And once your brain starts associating drawing activity with these kind of fun emotions, it becomes way easier to draw more, and it becomes more addictive. So without any further ado, let's just jump into it. Alright, so here's my sketchbook. I hope you appreciate the setup with the plans and the figurines and whatever. I hope you appreciate the sticker action. This sketchbook is, I don't know how this is called in English, springs or whatever. I didn't fill every single page in the sketchbook, because if I would, let's open the first page. The spring action really destroys the paper, and this paper is almost falling off, as you can see. So if I would fill every single page, the pages that I filled in the beginning would probably just start falling off, and I don't want that. And also, it would just be see-through. You would be able to see what is on the other page. So I actually really like just drawing on one page in these types of sketchbooks, but other than that, I really enjoyed this one. So yeah, let's jump into it. So this is the first page. It started in the 2024 month 10-13, and I was in a little bit of an art block, you could say, and I really like Sori Kim, and I did some studies. Every year or so I like to watch her domestic course and just get inspired. So I watched some of her videos, got inspired, and started drawing some hippos of her, because I really like how she does her line work. It looks really appealing to me. So yeah, I did some studies of her, master studies, and then I started just drawing the hippos myself. I actually used this kind of black liner. I really love this one because it has a wide range. I'm not sure if it's visible, but this is a Molotov black liner. These are some studies, direct studies from her domestic course, and then I just started drawing and learning how to compose the paper. Maybe not that well, but in this case, but yeah, I started doing that. Just studies of hippos. I wonder what a hippo in the air would look like, and I really got inspired by her particles that Sori Kim does, and I started doing those as well, maybe in a little bit more of my way. And yeah, this is, I wanted to make an illustration of some sort to maybe sell at conventions and expos, because I really want to start going to expos. So I'm just thinking, exploring ways how I could make some illustrations at this point. So I'll probably won't do any illustrations out of these. Yeah. Now let's check this one out. This was inspired by a hippo, of course, and a reference image of a fisherman, I think. I think this was like a villager. It had this like feudal Japan vibe. So I just combined two references into one, and it was really fun. But the character is kind of stiff. If I could redo it, I would work on the big, medium, small of it. But yeah, it was a lot of fun doing this. At this day, I remember I actually just probably looked up at some Pinterest references and started drawing some corals and some iguanas and other things, because I had this image in my head that I wanted to do a personal project with animal-inspired and culture-inspired references, and I will talk about it pretty soon in this sketchbook tour. You will see I'm very excited about it. Yeah, so some more studies. I'm not really proud of these. At this point, I started to learn Nomad Sculpt, and I actually didn't go through with it, but the Nomad Sculpt program is like a blender, a simplified blender for iPad, and I do have an iPad and I work on Procreate, but I started learning how to Nomad Sculpt, and I will definitely learn fully how to do it because I really want to do my resin printed figurines later. And this was like, so I wanted to create some sort of a very simple first project that I could just, you know, easily sculpt, something really simple, but I didn't go through with it, but I will need to do it and to get some more experience in 3D. I just really love drawing 2D, so Sketchbook is way cooler for me than 3D, so yeah. Oh, I like this one. So I just started combining different Pinterest references of sea creatures, and this main one is an eel, and I just started browsing and looking at interesting fishes, interesting sea creatures like this octopus, and just combining these and adding some gesture to it as well. And I think this one came out pretty cool. I want to quickly interrupt this video and talk about ArtWod. I think it's the best online art program that there is from my personal experience. Well, why? Because I've been a student for almost 3 years now, and I think that the results speak for themselves. They got everything. They got courses, they got WODs, which are fun art workouts, they got daily puzzles, they got classrooms, and they have been creating a new roadmap feature, which is super awesome, and let me tell you about it. I've never seen anything like this ever done before with art learning. With this learning, art almost feels like a video game where everything is gamified. You watch the videos, you do these little puzzles, and you see how you did because there are answers to every puzzle. You gain experience points, you level up your spatial awareness skills, and yeah, you basically level up your skills as you would level up your character in a World of Warcraft or whatever. And they got a really cool Discord community where I actually lurk all the time, and you can tag me there and just let's have a conversation. Now, Antonio and his team has been kind enough to offer me a partnership and give me an affiliate link, and that affiliate link is special, guys, because it gives you a special discount on the monthly and the quarterly plans that you can't really get anywhere else. So yeah, if you want to support me and also get a better deal, you can use my affiliate link. I will pin it in the comment section as a first comment. And without any further ado, let's jump back into the video. Another iteration of something that I would sculpt on the Nomad Sculpt app. I haven't done it yet, but maybe I'll do it later. I have something very simple like this cute monster. Look at his butt. Anyway, maybe I'll do it later just to practice my resin printing, painting, and 3D sculpting skills so I could later create something more awesome. And this was my first attempt at watercolor, actually. I was inspired by Sori Kim Domestica course, and she had some interesting ways to use the watercolors. I don't like how this turned out at all. And also this paper is really not for watercolor. It crumbles a lot when you apply watercolors to it. So this is why you won't probably see more of watercolor stuff on this sketchbook. But yeah, this was my first attempt. This was when me and my girlfriend went to a cat cafe, and I just started drawing these cute cats. As you can see, this main one, she was sleeping on this little bed, and these lines, I have a tendency sometimes, if I see some mistakes, to over thicken the outer lines, and it just feels like too much. So yeah, don't like how this one in particular turned out, but I really like this one. Maybe even this one, and maybe even this one. Not this one. This was when me and my girlfriend went to the woods, and I actually drew something outdoors. Yeah, and that was really fun. Yeah, I really like this shadow mapping way of sketching, where you actually draw this Terminator and apply hatching. I really like this type of method because it gives a really quick and good 2D read, or maybe even 3D read. A fast way to add some shadows. This was another one of those, but without any bubbles, any lines that I did previously. So I don't think it looks as cool. But yeah, still some cool fish sketches. And this one I like the most. This one is an anglerfish. A person commented on one of my posts where I uploaded on YouTube, and he said, or she, I'm not fully sure, to draw some deep sea creatures. So I did, and I actually drew every single one except the whale in this picture that he mentioned, or she. And yeah, I think this one came out really cool. I really like this one. This actually was posted by ArtWod on their Instagram, and it got thousands of likes, and I was really happy. And yeah, thank you ArtWod for posting this as a student spotlight. That was really cool. So yeah. Oh, this was actually my client project. I'm working with a client on a children's book, and I needed to design a logo for a place that is called Sanctum of Balance. So I was just thinking of the way I could like design like almost a logo or a signpost saying Sanctum of Balance. I will actually add the illustration that I actually iterated this design for. This was just some character from imagination. I remember I was just in the bed sketching this one in particular, so this just came from my imagination. I wanted to combine a fish character with some sort of a medieval tribe, so in this case it's kind of inspired by, like this for example is very inspired by Kratos, so in this case Nordic culture. And yeah, but I didn't develop this character a lot. You'll see there will be some development, but I chose another one that you will see later. Oh my god, there's a thing that I really like about this, and there's a thing that I really hate. The legs, it just looks very wrong, and the proportions as well, but I kind of like the whole strength of this character. He looks kind of cool, and I iterated on it later, you'll see. Alright, so this is the page where I started actually studying the Native American culture. And my idea for this is to create a concept art project for my portfolio and combine some sort of a fish, and in this case it's gonna be a sockeye salmon that lives in North Pacific Ocean, and combine it with some sort of a culture, and in this case it's gonna be a Native American culture. So yeah, I was actually like researching a lot, looking up different references, reading up a lot on Wikipedia, just taking my time, you know, and becoming this some sort of a detective or a historian, and just looking up as many things and indulging into this type of culture, this type of, you know, just learning information about it. And I really want to suggest you try to do something similar if you are interested in this. But yeah, there's so much inspiration to be found in just history books, encyclopedias, and yeah, let's go further. This was another iteration of that previous character, and I really like this one more. I think there's something wrong with the anatomy and with the legs. But yeah, this is kind of a Kratos inspired fish looking character. I kind of like it, but it didn't really go anywhere. This was my first ever gouache study. I really was inspired again by the Domestika course. I bought some gouache paints and just tried to do some studies. These are actually studies, direct studies of Sori Kim gouache studies. So yeah, just study of a study. And yeah, this was my first ever time. I think I did pretty well, although looking at it now it looks kind of bland, but for the first study I think it's pretty cool. Okay, so these were actually first just gouache studies, and I realized I don't have enough, not the skill, but not enough patience to finish full studies of whales, so I just added some line work on top of it, and I think it looks pretty cool. It's kind of cool style, you know, if you combine gouache with the fine liners like this, you know. But yeah, again, this paper is not made for painting. This paper is not good at all. This is actually a really cheap sketchbook, which I kind of like. I like having cheap sketchbooks because it makes you feel more free when you draw. Okay, so this was my ideation process for an illustration for the client, the same client that I'm working on the children's book. So I needed to thumbnail a monster attacking a village. So these were sleeper monsters that I actually designed earlier, and he is like attacking the big bell of the city and just waking everybody up, you know, just to make as much noise, because these are like sleeper monsters. They sleep through the whole day, they wake up at night, and they attack and make as much noise for the villagers, so they don't get enough sleep, and they are called, these monsters are, for now we have a name, it's called Insomnites. So yeah, I actually finished the illustration. I'm not fully proud of it, but I think there's something with lighting that is off, but yeah. Another type of fish illustration. Yeah, this one was with the eel. I don't like how the eel turned out, but I like how this guy is like scared of this dude, this big guy. He's like, "What, man? I gotta get out of here." Pretty cool. Yeah, so I really like this one. This is my ideation process inspired by a prop design course on ArtWod. So I actually was just like looking at different cultures. As you can see, I'm thinking about Norse, Viking, ancient Egypt, Sumerian, Rome, Greek, tropical, tribal, Eskimo, just whatever comes to my mind, you know. I'm not trying to be really, you know, specific or very, you know, categorize everything so much. But yeah, at first I was thinking to combine Norse Viking with the sockeye salmon, but later I found out that it's in the North Pacific Ocean. And who is living in the nearby North Pacific Ocean? It was Native American. And now I'm writing to-do list, what to do with this project. I'm just like ideating and trying to understand what I want to do and what is my goal with this. So yeah, I wrote down that pre-Columbus North Pacific Native American tribes, and I'm actually even writing down the Clovis, Sioux, and Apache tribe names, you know, just so I can read up more on Wikipedia and so on. So this is a study of sockeyes, the salmons. I really like how they look, and the real sockeye salmon actually has fully red body, and then the head is actually very greenish, brownish, and I really like how they look. They kind of look prehistoric in a way. They kind of look like a dinosaur in a way even. So yeah. I was actually watching some Delicious in Dungeon, and I decided, okay, I want to do a fan art, you know? Maybe I'll sell that fan art in expos and whatever, because there's a lot of people that are interested in Delicious in Dungeon, I think. And I really like that show. Senshi is my favorite character of all of them, and yeah, I really like how he speaks. I really like everything about this character, and I decided to study it. So this is like a first study, then there's a big, medium, small study to just understand the design a little bit better. And also I've written bruh on this leg because yeah, it was all going so perfect with this study, but then I decided to just draw a leg a little bit below. Yeah, the face studies up close. This was the thumbnail ideation for the stickers, because I wanted to create some stickers, and I think I'm gonna create it. And I actually did these studies. So this was the cooking senshi, just a normal one, then a roid senshi, roid meaning he's on steroids and he has a lot of muscles. Then I eat alone senshi, meaning he doesn't share the food with others, and gets really fat. And then I Also maybe thought of doing just like a card sticker and just a portrait of him. So yeah, but I posted this on Instagram and most of the people just voted for this one. So yeah, that's what I came up with. This was a continuation of a sketchbooking course. I decided to continue the sketchbooking course on ArtWod finally, and you'll see I'll actually finish it in this sketchbook. But this was a lesson about master studies, and I decided to go with a Frank Frazetta master study, and I really like how this came out. I really like the way Frank Frazetta simplifies these forms, and it has so much gesture in it. Of course, the study is not perfect, but that's not the point. The point is just to try to, because when you do a master study, you will look at a piece of artwork like you never looked before, because you probably won't observe without doing a study for it as much as you would just like looking at the picture. The most of people just look at the pictures for a minute max, probably less, you know. But when you do a master study, you're probably gonna observe and look at all this intricate details, analyze it in your head, you know. And this is very helpful because firstly it like inspires you, it gets you out of the art block, creative block, and it gets your creative juices flowing, and you actually learn a lot from master studies. So yeah, now this is a finished illustration of the Senshi. I actually finished it on Procreate, digitally, as I like to call it. And by saying digitally, I mean traditional plus digital. So I scanned it with my printer scanner. I opened up the Procreate, I made the line work layer out of this, and then I actually can correct some mistakes. Now, as you can see, this shoulder looks broken. It looks really bad, and I actually corrected it. I actually got some feedback from Arnie B from Teaching Tuesdays on ArtWod, and he kind of corrected the way I needed to draw this hand. And yeah, I kind of like how the sticker came out, and hopefully I actually make the sticker later. Another master study, this time from the Kim Jung-gi. It was actually in the ArtWod sketchbooking course, you had to do an old master. So in this case, old master was Frank Frazetta, and the new master, in this case, Kim Jung-gi, would be a new master because it's still in our era. And yeah, I did this study of this I don't know, lion guy with a girl. I really liked it. I didn't like do it fully perfectly again, but I took a lot from it and it was really fun. And also I actually always do like a gesture draw over of proportions. So first I try to draw as much with a pencil, and then later I go on with a fine liner, and then I erase. Once I'm done with the fine liner, I erase the pencil lines. But I'm actually working on another sketchbook, and I actually saw this awesome video by Broken Draw, and he talked about how just training yourself to not use a pencil and just use the fine liner, which is very brutal if you just don't have any underdrawing, but it makes you think about every single line, and it makes you way more efficient and more confident with your lines. So I'm actually feeling that, and you will see later in my another sketchbook tour. Yeah. Another Kim Jung-gi master study. His eyes are kind of weird in this one, but yeah. I'm really into like animal characters and inspired by animals, humanoid animal characters, anthropomorphic ones. So yeah, I was into these illustrations that he done, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. Another Kim Jung-gi master study, number 3. Yeah, this was the Cosmic Pig, a crazy one. And if you look at the original illustration, there are like little baby pigs incubated in these like bottles, which was weird. Okay, so now this is the first iteration of the character that I combined Native American culture and sockeye salmons into. So yeah, I'm trying to create a hunter, how a typical profession of a hunter-gatherer would look like in this tribe. Now this is really cool. So I'm trying to answer the what, who, where with this, and I'm actually looking at different weapons that Native American used. So I'm actually looking at tomahawks. I'm actually looking at these stone clubs, which are really, really cool, that Native Americans used. And I'm actually thumbnailing the first like tribe leader character. So you will see later how I designed him. And the later is now. This is the tribe leader. I actually made a full illustration out of it. And yeah, I'm actually proud of this character, and I'm very excited to create more concept art for this. And I'm probably gonna start with a concept art character design portfolio project, and then later move on to other things like buildings, maybe mounts, maybe creature design for the world, and so on. And this is really exciting for me. Maybe this can be used later in a video game or something like that. Yeah, some more nerding out, trying to understand what kind of weapons Native Americans used. So let me try to explain this process for you. What I do is I open up a Wikipedia page. I Google Native American weaponry, and I open up the Wikipedia page, and I'm just reading, I'm reading, and I look at the categories that they are using, and once I get the name, the category, I try to read up on it. I try to use Google Images, not the Pinterest for this, because if I just start opening up the Pinterest, it will just start giving me AI generated bullshit, and I don't need that in this case, or ever, usually. In this case, I actually needed some real life reference, because I want to understand what these authentic weapons looked like. So I'm studying, I'm looking at the images, and I'm just studying and trying to understand the function of it, and trying to understand what resources they were using, and so on. What is the symbolic version of these weapons, Because there are a lot of symbolic things. For example, the feathers really showed, as far as I understand, in Native American culture, the feathers symbolized respect, You have to earn the feathers if you want to wear them, So, yeah. This was actually thumbnailing with a really, really big pen. Not a big pen, but big marker. I think this was this big black liner from Molotov. I love this one. And yeah, I just did some gestures. And this was actually for the ArtWod sketchbooking course as well. I try to combine my personal project with the sketchbooking course whenever I can, But if I can't, I just do the exercises as they are intended to. Now I'm iterating on this process. As you can see, this guy looks like he's about to fall off, but this one, actually, the second iteration, yeah, it's kind of good, there's a big grounded balance in this one, and I really like it. This would be an action pose for this guy. Yeah, some more Native American weaponry. In this case, I'm trying to understand what kind of resources again they are using. The flint, the metal. These are used by woodland tribes, carved from solid piece of hardwood. Yeah, I'm trying to even understand what kind of wood they are using, because once I understand what kind of wood they are using, right, then I will be able to world build and actually add these type of forests, trees into the images, This gives me a lot of information. Some more Native American weapons, some knives, some spears. Now this is called the atlatl, and this is kind of like a middle ground between a big spear and an arrow, and they throw it like that, Kind of cool, like light spears, Atlatls. Probably didn't know about that, did you? Another Native American weaponry study, some bows, and now these are war shields. Yeah, some war shields, and some of these war shields actually were very light, and they mostly were called spirit shields. They were maybe intended for battle, but more for, not for the protection, but for raising the spirit. Yeah. Sorry if I'm like appropriating any culture and spreading some misinformation in these. I don't know it all. I still need to study a lot more if I want to be very, very specific, but as far as concept art goes, I think I'm going deep enough for now. And these were called I'm sorry, not the spirit shields, but medicine shields. So yeah, they are thinner and lighter, and they represent the spiritual strength. That's why I said spirit shields. Now I'm looking at the Aztec weaponry, and this is actually really cool because in the recent Old School RuneScape update, if you play OSRS, you'll know how this weapon looks, because it was a new weapon added to the game. And this was actually in my studies, you know. This weapon is called Makuahuitl, something like that, and they are actually adding these obsidian pieces on the wood. And it's like a wooden board with obsidian blades, which is really cool, a really cool design. So yeah, you actually don't need a lot of inspiration from other artists. What I'm trying to say is, this is how you actually overcome the creative block, by studying, by looking at the cultures, by looking at the real life, by looking at nature, by looking at different cultures. And there's so much to learn and so much to study from. And this is how you create creative designs, by looking at the things that are already created and combining them into something new. This was a study for a sketchbooking course, and I needed to draw some live animals, not from the reference, but from real life. So I went to my mom's house. There were these goldfishes in a fish tank, and I just sketched the goldfishes. I love these goldfishes. They're really they're actually, this is the same size of the goldfish. It's pretty big, you know, in real life, you know. Oh, god damn it. I'll probably just hold it like that. If you remember the thumbnails that I did before, this was for the final sketchbooking assignment for the sketchbooking course. And this sockeye leader, I actually gave him the name Misu. I'm probably not gonna use that name, or maybe I will, we'll see. But yeah, I drew the head a little bit too big for the proportions, but yeah, I think it came out pretty cool. Some more studies of Native American clothing in this case, and I'm trying to understand different types of clothing that they used. I'm writing down what I want to study, and yeah, these are called breech cloth, I'm sorry. Also studying different talismans that they used. You know, they used feathers as some of the helmets these were called roach, moccasins, ghost shirts, you know? There's a lot of stuff that you can add to your visual library. And since I actually finished the sketchbooking course, I started the costume design course on ArtWod. It's a mini course, and I actually didn't finish it, but I'm just trying to brainstorm what I want to draw, what character would I like to develop. I went to, in this case, my own cyberpunk world that I'm trying to create with my music project. So I went to this, and yeah, I'm trying to design a goon character, a street bandit type of goon character, just to have some more visual information for that world. Now this is sketching outdoors. It was still for the sketchbooking course, and I've written outdoors with this because I wasn't actually outdoors. I was actually, the weather was terrible. It was raining, it was really cold, so I didn't go outdoors at that point, and I just saw some photos that I took outdoors when I was actually outdoors, and I used them as references and finished this page because I wanted to finish the sketchbooking course. God damn it. All right. Now this is me studying the Native American tents, which are called teepee. These are conical lodge tents, and I think this first one was a modern take, and this was a OG Native American actual tent that I think was a very old photograph of it. Yeah. All right, so costume design course. Now I'm trying to do some thumbnails of different size proportions for the street goon character. And as you can see, I'm jumping around. I wouldn't say that I have ADHD, but I definitely have some symptoms of it. I really like to jump around between the projects, not just do one thing at all times. I really hate doing that because I start procrastinating. And instead of procrastinating on other stuff, I'd like to procrastinate by just starting another project. And whenever I don't want to do that project, I procrastinate by doing another project. And this way I don't even procrastinate at all. So yeah, I think it was pretty cool. I think I like this one the most. Yeah, some more thumbnails. This one has some sort of a Borderlands vibe. I like it. This one is kind of cool with the mustache. But yeah, these are really quick, by the way. I'm just looking at the reference. I had like a reference board. Of course, I'm still doing the pencil under drawing, but then I quickly try to do it with the pen. And oh my god, this looks horrible, but let me try to explain. I was at the art shop and I bought this pen. It's called Zig Art Graphic Twin or whatever, and this is a brush pen. It's a big one. Yeah, and yeah, I just try to test it out and don't really like it, you know. But you can actually do a lot of cool stuff with it. I will probably need to use it later. Yeah, I just try to way too quickly do a drawing, and yeah, as I said, trying out a new brush pen. All right. Yeah, so after doing the Native American weaponry, Native American clothing, I try to understand the architecture. So this is what is called Pueblo architecture, and it was originated by American Southwest Anasazi people around this time. Yeah, I'm just trying to understand to fill my creative visual library so I can create my own marine tribe project, you know, later. Oh, this is cool. This is I really want to talk about. Okay, so listen. I went to a library, my local library. I was just like, okay, I will just look for encyclopedias of some sort of a nature subject, and I really wanted to do the marine subject, the sea subject, because I'm trying to do this marine tribe personal project, you know? And I came up with this book. It's kind of a corny encyclopedia book, but it's pretty cool. So yeah, what I'll try to do, I read the text and then I look at the images and I ask myself, is this image actually worth studying? If it is, I study it. And this is a really fun way to fill your visual library with all different kind of stuff. And yeah, I started to do these kind of studies, and it's, you know, it's not efficient. It's very slow. It's not super fast, but it teaches you how to slow down in life, and I love it so much. It's not like super, you know, I get this to do this, but it's more thinking long term, you know. I just want to draw. I'm having fun. And when I said that this sketchbook actually woken up the love for drawing for me, that's what I mean. So I just like found this like method of studying, which is really weird, but it's really fun. So yeah, I did this turtle. If you saw, there was like this submarine picture in the book, so I studied it as well. Then later I did some more. I studied that fish. There were some diving gear. This is a modern take, this is the old take. And look how cool that looks, you know. It looks really interesting, and this is the way that you can actually inspire your own projects, by combining these things, you know. I'm studying submarines because they were in the books, sharks, fishes. And oh, okay, so this is kind of cool. This was a Do This in Your Style witch hunter competition for an amazing artist called Lashy. And yeah, he had this witch hunter, and this was the direct study of his own design. And then I tried to iterate it and redesign it a little bit. So I went for a more fat, chunky type of build. So yeah, this was the thumbnail that I actually chose. So as you can see, this is not fully made by Fineliner. I actually just used some simple ballpoint pens for this, just to see how these cheap ballpoint pens work, you know? And it's pretty cool. I think that ballpoint pen is like a middle ground between Fineliner and a pencil, you know? It's not as forgiving as pencil, but it's pretty forgiving because if you go light, you can establish a really easy proportions. You can establish some proportions with light strokes, and then you can build up the value as you go. But I don't personally really like the ballpoint pen look. But yeah, these were some C-book encyclopedia studies. Some more studies of the C-book, trying to take some notes, trying to understand how marine life works. This is a salmon. Oh, this is actually really cool. I learned that the bottom of the fish is lighter because the bottom of the sea is dark. And if you look from the bottom to the fish, it will blend with the light from the above. But if you look from the above to the fish, it's gonna be darker. So it blends in with the environment more. It's like a natural camouflage. That's why the bottom of the fish is lighter and the top part is actually darker. So yeah, I guess you learned something from today. You probably knew this, but yeah. Alright, some more C-book page studies, some dolphins. I actually write the Latin names because if I ever want to look up that creature again, I can actually look it up by writing in the name to the Google or whatever. Oh, I have to do this again. So this was the final illustration, final line work for the Lashies Do This in Your Style challenge. And then I actually scanned it and turned it into a true digital final illustration, which you can see now. Back to the C-book encyclopedia studies. So I'm just drawing whatever I see on the page. I'm reading the stuff also. Actually, I got really sick of the ballpoint pen and I started using Fineliner again. And this creature is one of the coolest creatures on Earth. It's called water bear or tardigrades. These are very, very small, microscopic little water animals that kind of represents an alien polar bear or whatever. And yeah, they look as at the same time really cool and at the same time very disgusting. And interesting. And I think I've heard that these are the most strong and the most survivable species on Earth, I think. Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah. I think way earlier I watched some SciShow on YouTube. Yeah, C-book page number 9, studying some crabs. And this was a more different type of study because I didn't just draw it once. I actually drew it once from book. And then I looked up some images, and these are really cool crabs because they have like one arm that is really big and the other cute little small arm, and these are called fiddler crabs. Another artist called Tim Van Galen, also from ArtWod, he actually did a Do This in Your Style challenge as well, and this is me studying it. This is the direct study of his image, and this is some sort of a Minotaur character, which is pretty cool. And then I try to iterate with some thumbnails and try to understand what kind of proportions I want to use. And I went with the bulky big guy. And this is another illustration. I think I combined it with a pose of another artwork and I added my character to it. I really like this one, but unfortunately I couldn't make it on time because I got sick. And I got really sick, guys. Let me talk about it for now. I got pneumonia and it was so bad. I had like 40 degrees for 5 days. This was the worst illness that I've ever had in my life. I thought I would die, but I'm alive. I'm back. I'm getting better. I finished my antibiotics, and if you feel that my voice is kind of sore when I'm talking, this is why. Anyway, C-book page number 10, studying some more fishes, and this time I'm trying to study the corals and even some coral island from above. And oh, okay, I want to talk about it because it's really. Yeah, I think I'm the only one that thought of this kind of concept of studying and also gaming. Anyway, listen to me. Maybe I will inspire you to do something similar. So I am kind of a big Warcraft fan in sense of art. I really love the whole lore they built, the art. And what I did this time, I actually downloaded the World of Warcraft game. And yeah, I just gave myself some sort of a quest myself, you know, where I do one in-game quest and then I have to draw something. I have to do a study of whatever is close nearby to me in the actual video game. So yeah, it was actually a really cool way to play a video game and also do some art as well. And this is another page. Yeah, I studied some animals from that biome. Whatever I find cool, I draw that. So there's a murloc, there's a wandering boar, a prickly porcupine, a goat. I found a blind axe. I like the design, I drew it, you know? And that is it. That's the final page. And I finished this sketchbook in a month or maybe 2 months. So yeah, compared to the other sketchbooks that I finished earlier, I just ran through it way faster than ever before. And yeah, I think I'm gonna keep this up, guys. So yeah, I hope you liked it, and let's get back to the talking head format. All right, thank you so much for watching. I hope this was at least a little interesting to you. Again, I love how drawing in the sketchbook really helped me to just enjoy the drawing experience. It made me overcome the creative block. It made me slow down and just enjoy the experience of draftsmanship, observation, and creative exploration. If you are still watching this video, you can prove it by commenting in the comment section the word sock eye. If you watch the video, you know what this is about. And again, if you are interested in boosting your drawing experience by 10 and level up way faster, you can join ArtWod. You can also use my affiliate link down below and also actually get a special discount for quarterly and monthly plans. And you also got a super awesome sketchbooking course that you can check out as well. Also, I am a musician. I sing, I rap, I produce, and you can listen to my music on Spotify. And yeah, watch the music videos, drip music video, shy music video, summertime, and maybe there is some music coming in the future. And also, you can subscribe to this channel, ring the notification bell if you wish, and yeah, just watch more videos because I have like over 10 or like 12 videos I think on this channel already. So, and if you haven't watched the other sketchbooking series, what are you waiting for? Just watch them, you know? Anyway, have a nice one and see you in another sketchbook tour or just another video. Bye bye.